This is us jumping into the Ryukage issue number 2. So, in my previous stream, what we did last time is we took a look at the Ryukage issue number 1. And for those of you who are not familiar with this storyline, this is my original storyline that I have created over the past a couple decades. This is actually a prequel series to my novel WildFIRE Legend of Ryukage, which you can find on Amazon and on other places. But basically, for those of you who've been watching my stream, you'll know that I am a comic producer, I'm a writer, and I am a game developer and stuff like that. So everything that I create is connected to this Ryukage comic series. But for those of you who've been watching, I am transferring all of my content over from Twitch over to YouTube. So since I'm restarting my YouTube channel, I decided I was going to dedicate that specifically to my WildFIRE Expanded universe. And in order to do that, I felt like it was probably a good idea to go ahead and start from the very beginning of the storyline to start kind of explaining how this universe came into being, especially when it comes to the characters, the lore, where the Ryukage clans come from, and where they'll be going in the future. So the WildFIRE storyline itself is actually split up into 3 different storylines. The first story arc is the Ryukage, which is the comic that you're looking at right now. So what I did in my previous stream, let's go find that very quickly. What I did in my previous stream, I'll explain this page later, my Kickstarter page, because I am running a Kickstarter for this right now, which is focused on comic issue number 3, producing comic issue number 3, and continuing the storyline of the comics that we'll be discussing today. So, for those of you who've been to my YouTube channel before or been on my Twitch, this is what my new YouTube channel looks like, the WildFIRE Expanded Universe. You can kind of find other explainer videos that I've done so far about this series and about the history and the lore of the universe, right? So last week I actually created this video, the first Comics Explained video that covered issue number 1 of the Ryukage comic series, which we will not be going back to really cover so much of today, because I kind of want to move forward with this and catch everybody up with what's going on with the storyline up till this point, and then I will be continuing to explain develop the comics hereafter. All right. So let's see. So for those of you who are new, please stop by, check out my YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can so that you can keep up with what's going on with the story and the lore and the characters and stuff like that. Because this universe is huge. It's freaking massive. It's a multi-generational saga that covers thousands of years and multiple descendants of these clan members. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. But for today, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of continue with where we left off, last time. So I've done an explainer video. I've already done an explainer video of issue number 1, which is what you're looking at right now. So this is the Ryukage issue number 1. Which we covered in detail in the previous stream. So if you'd like to know more about that, then please go back and watch the previous video. However, I am going to go ahead and cover, do a quick recap of this, for those of you who don't necessarily have time to go back and watch a whole video. So, okay, quick rundown of where we're at so far with the Ryukage comic issue number 1. This comic issue was completed back in 2012 or 2012, I believe, and and it basically covers the first chapter of, the intro to what's going on with the Morita family. So the basic story is there's a family in Japan called the family of Hitoshi Morita lives in Japan. They live in Izumo, and this whole story arc takes place in Edo period Japan around 1600, where there's samurai and warring states and stuff like that. And so this guy Hitoshi Morita, he comes home from traveling abroad, because he is a traveling merchant between Japan and Asia. He comes home and he sees some bandits attacking a family. So of course he does this samurai thing, his truth, justice, in the Japanese sword way, and he slices these guys up on his way home, and then he helps the family out, and then he goes on about his business, just like it's a normal day, right? And so, because he's been gone away from his family for about, almost a year, or a little bit over a year at this point in time. So this is, he's actually able, kind of on break. before he had to go back out to sea again. So he'll come back to Japan and stay home for a couple months, and then go back out to sea. So after he helps the family, he's walking home, and he gets ambushed by his youngest daughter, Ryoko. So she is Ryoko is about 10 years old at this time, and she's always trying to catch her dad off guard. Ryoko is the key one of the main protagonists of this Ryukage series, and she's one of the key focal characters of the WildFIRE storyline. And you'll find out why much later as the comics progress, right? So Hitoshi catches her and throws her, you're way too young for this stuff. And so he has a nice little friendly chat with his daughter and better luck next time. And then they play around, do some daddy and daughter stuff, and then they finally head home. When Hitoshi gets home, he meets up with his wife. So this is his wife, Megumi. And he has 6 daughters, so the man's been busy, and that's one reason he's got to work so much out at sea, because he got 6 kids. But anyways, when he gets back home, he meets his wife and everyone. They're very happy to see him. So he meets up with his wife Megumi. This is his oldest daughter, Rin. This is his second oldest daughter, Fujiko. This is the third oldest, Saya. And this one is Tomoka. This one is Masami. And this one is Ryoko. Now, I'll explain kind of what's going on with these characters and with the art style in a little bit, because what you're going to see in the comics, in the old comics and the new comics, it will be very different, because I've changed the art style in order to make the characters kind of stand out. So I'll explain who all of these guys are later, and give you more information, and kind of get you adapted to their new looks that they'll have going forward in the comic series as we progress in the story. But anyway, Hitoshi, he's happy at home, hasn't seen his wife in a while, so they have plans, dinner plans for later tonight. But before they can really get on to welcoming each other and stuff like that, Hitoshi gives his kids the presents, and while he's talking to his wife Megumi, who is also we're going to get into her. We're definitely going to get into her later on today as we start talking about issue number 2. But before he can really settle down with his family, Megumi informs him that he has company, right? And so the guy who showed up is actually his best friend, and his best friend's name is Hata. And so Hata showed up with his oldest son, Toshiyuki. And so Megumi tells Hitoshi, yeah, baby, we're gonna have to wait. You got to serve your guests first, and then I'll serve you later, kind of thing. So Hitoshi got to get into business mode first. So he meets up with his friend. So this is his friend Hata, and these guys have been bros forever. And from the previous from the previous explanation, you'll know their background, why they've been so close for so many years. So I'm not going to go through and explain all of that in this one. Go watch the previous video. But they do have some business to talk about now that Hitoshi's back in town. So they decide to go out. And Ryoko, she's like, yeah, well, Daddy just got home, and she doesn't want to leave his side, because she loves her father so much. So they decide to take Ryoko with them. So they go for a nice walk out in the beautiful countryside. Hitoshi and his family, they live in a very, very secluded area, which I've kind of also explained in a video about Hitoshi's background. You can find that on YouTube as well. But, they go for a nice, it's a bright sunny day, very nice summer day, and everything's fine. And Ryoko, Hitoshi and Toshiyuki, they're talking about business, which is basically the arranged marriage between Hata's son, Toshiyuki, and Hitoshi's oldest daughter, Rin, right? And Ryoko, she's just being a 10-year-old kid just playing in the river, and everything's going fine until suddenly, the river starts to turn to blood around Ryoko, and she's standing right in the middle of it, so all of the fish start dying, everything starts dying around her, and the river, just becomes a river of blood, right? So she screams, and then these two guys, they jump up and they check on her, but they notice that the blood's not coming from her, obviously, because the girl cannot feel a river full of blood. And then right when they're trying to figure out what's going on, the mountain behind them just it erupts, explodes, it just goes everywhere, right? And so according to my story lore, that's why this mountain doesn't exist in Japan anymore, because when this mountain explodes, and it just flattens everything. So this is completely cratered flat land after this. But this is not a volcanic mountain, so that already freaks these two out. But then what really freaks them out is they see something come out of the mountain and it heads straight for them, right? So these guys being like old retired samurai, they got their sword. They don't got their blinkies or anything, but they got their swords out, and they're now realistically they should have like tried to run, but it's just a spectacle, and plus the ground is kind of still shaking around them, so they're kind of in the middle of an earthquake after the mountain blew up. So and then they see this thing heading toward them, so they don't really know where to run because you'll notice that the trees and everything in the background are like flying everywhere. So they just instinctively pull their swords. And what happens is like this thing that comes out of the mountain just comes straight for them and then stops in front of them, and then it reveals itself to be a big black dragon-like demon dog, and this dog is called a Kuragami, right? It's like one of the dark gods, right? And so, this is their first time dealing with any kind of supernatural stuff at all. So, like, they're not really, like, sure how to do this. Their brains are still processing what they've just seen, right? But, this thing is huge. It's about, like, 9 feet tall, like, just standing. And it towers over them. And, like, this thing means business, right? But what really freaks them out, besides, like, just a big demon dog, like, standing in front of them, is that it starts to speak. And when it starts to speak, it says like one word, Nishiyama. And so like after that, without much else of a warning, it just attacks, right? So Hitoshi, and Hata, they don't know what to do about this. They're just doing the best they can. But this thing is so powerful and so huge that it's just making short work of them, right? So Hitoshi, he gets like knocked up against a tree, and the tree falls on him. And then Hata, he tries to do his thing and tries to protect Hitoshi and his daughter. And at first, Hata and Hitoshi kind of think that it might be after Hitoshi, because maybe it's like they don't know where this thing came from, but maybe it's something that followed him home, or maybe he's got a grudge against him or something like that. But it seems to be kind of after him. But then Hitoshi notices that this dog is not after him; it's after his youngest daughter. And so, while he's trying to stop it, he tells his daughter to run. And so, Ryoko, she bucks, and this demon just goes right after her, right? And Hata, being the good man that he is, he tries his best to defend Ryoko, but it just doesn't work out so well for him. He just gets cut right in half, and he dies on the scene, right, trying to protect her. But Ryoko starts making her way home, and this dog is just dead set on catching her. So Hitoshi, he doesn't have much time to do anything else. He managed to crawl out from under that tree and grab his sword. He's already kind of injured, and you'll notice that he's got 3 slashes across his chest. We're going to get into that later in the next comic. But, he frees himself, and then he goes running after them. This whole time, Ryoko, she's playing, Super Mario Brothers, just trying to, trying to dodge this thing, and this demon is getting closer and closer, and it's, just dead set on, getting to her. But Hitoshi manages to catch up to him by taking a shortcut, and, he manages to, kind of, stop the demon from, eating her. But they both get knocked over a cliff and into a river of blood below, right? And then after they get knocked into the river of blood, the demon just kind of bounces, right? It's just like, oh, okay, well, fine. My job's done, and it just runs off, right? And so for a few seconds, fortunately the fall doesn't kill them, and they manage to swim to the shore. They're just, covered in blood, though, and rotten fish and blood and everything like that, right? But they managed to swim to the shore, and neither of them are really seriously injured at this time. And so, for a second, they kind of think they're safe, but then Hitoshi realizes, oh shit, this is a dog. And so, dogs track by smell. And he notices that the demon is nowhere to be found, but they can kind of tell where the demon is heading, because there's wherever the demon goes, there's the sky turns red, and there are dark clouds that follow it, that follow it in the direction that it's heading. And so Hitoshi suddenly realizes, he's like, oh shit, this thing is heading towards my house. So so him and Ryoko, they start to run. And as they run into the family that the demon that Hitoshi saved before. But this family also came in within the path of the demon dog when it's going towards Hitoshi's house. So yeah, they just got rocked, and the demon just killed everyone in the family and just kept on going. So at this point, Hitoshi realizes, he's like, okay, well, I know where this thing is going. It's heading towards my house. I already know that it's after my youngest daughter. I don't know why. So he had to make a quick decision, and he's like, okay, well, Ryoko, I can't take you with me. So he points to like the direction where Hata's village is. He's like, go run that way, try to get to the village, try to find somebody, try to find safety. And he's like, I gotta go home. I gotta go try to like stop this demon because I don't know what it's after. I know it's not coming back for you because the clouds are not coming back this way. So he's like, yeah, you go this way. You go this way. Go to the village. I'm going home to fight this demon. And one reason why Hitoshi does this is because, like, one, he doesn't have many options because he already knows that the demon's after her. Two, he knows his daughter very well. And Ryoko, she is a very brave girl for a 10-year-old. I mean, and I've kind of explained why in the previous video, so we're not going to go over that right now. We are going to talk about each of the characters briefly at the end of this one after we finish covering issue number 2. But Ryoko is a very brave girl, and she really loves her father. She really loves her family, and so Hitoshi already knows that if given the option, Ryoko will not back down, and she will try to help him when he's fighting this demon. So like he's already aware, he already knows the decision that she's probably going to make, and that's why he tells her, orders her to go to the other village. Well, and then he just takes off because basically he's trying to outrun her before she makes the decision that he already kind of suspects that she's going to make. Because they live kind of far away from the village, so there's not really so many, it would take her about like an hour to get there anyway by foot, even if she did make it and there's no other demons and stuff like that. But he knows, just her personality, she is, a very determined girl, and if her family's in danger, she's not really going to back down. So, his mission is basically to get, to run ahead of her and, find a way to stop this demon before, she can kind of make it. And so, he runs off and leaves her there by herself. And, Ryoko, she's kind of stuck. She's like, well, I'm 10 years old. What am I going to do? This is, some supernatural shit. I've never dealt with this before. She's like, but it's my father and my family. So she makes the decision. She's like, I'm not going to leave them. And so she also heads back home. Now, Hitoshi, he's, miles away. He's way ahead of her at this time and doing his best to catch up to the demon. But, what happens is, Hitoshi's instincts were correct. So this thing went straight for, after it knocked him and Ryoko into the river of blood, this, the demon headed straight for his house. Now, keep in mind, this guy has no idea what he did to piss this, thing off, right? He has no idea why this demon is after his family, at all. So he just gets there, and as soon as he shows up, this demon is already, wreaking havoc. So, this is Hitoshi's oldest daughter, Rin. And she was out on a date with her soon-to-be husband, her fiance, when the demon ran across them, and they also noticed the red skies, and they heard the mountain blow up. So they heard the mountain blow up in the volcano, and then they also saw the red skies heading their way. So they thought it was maybe ash or some fallout coming from the mountain. Coming from the volcanic eruption. So Toshiyuki's yeah, he's worried about Rin. He's like, yo, we got to get home. So they started heading back home. Fortunately, fortunately or unfortunately for Toshiyuki, on the way home they encountered the demon, and it just he tries to defend Rin, but he's not exactly the best swordsman because his father did train him, but he got trained in school, not on the battlefield. And he wouldn't have lasted that long anyway because no weapons actually work against this thing, right? So unfortunately, Toshiyuki, Rin's fiance, gets killed in front of her, and the demon dog just bites him in half, and then it goes right after her. So Rin, she's running to the house. She's terrified. She's horrified because her fiance just got killed, and there's this demon coming after her, and it sweeps her leg, and then it stabs her in the leg, which will be a very important part of this story going forward, right? So it stabs her in the leg, and she cries out, and Hitoshi gets there just in time to see this and to save her. So him and this demon dog, they just start going at it again. And Hitoshi, this dude is fearless. When it comes to protecting his family, he goes all in, right? He does not care what happens to himself, all right? He just uses all his body weight to knock this demon dog out of the way and starts fighting it again. Now, Megumi, his wife, on the other hand, she's been inside of the house and she was already worried because the mountain blew up and like there's a volcanic activity and an earthquake, right? So she's got all of her daughters in the house, and she's kind of waiting for the rest of her family to show up. So she's like, well, Hitoshi should be coming back with Hata, and they should be bringing Ryoko, and Rin and Toshiyuki should naturally be on their way back to the house, because that's the only house in the area. The village is like way too far away. And so, like, she's just kind of anxiously waiting at home and, like, making dinner and stuff like that, and keeping her other daughters, like, busy and in the house. And then she hears all of this ruckus outside. And so when she runs outside, like, now, we're going to get into Megumi a lot today, actually, like, when we start talking about the second comic. But, like, while she's, like, while she's in the house, she already starts feeling, like, really, really anxious, and, like, overcome with dread, an unusual type of dread, right? And so, like, of course, the volcano just went off in the background, so that's not helping. So when she runs outside, like, she's not really expecting to see what she's seeing, but however, like, she was already kind of getting a sense that something was way off. So she steps outside and she sees Hitoshi fighting this big demon dog, and, like, Megumi's reaction is she does not know what this is. She doesn't know that it's a demon. She just, like, but there's something inside of her that knows what this is, right? And so the next couple moves that she makes are very instinctive. She doesn't know why she's reacting this way. She doesn't know why she takes the actions that she takes. It's just a natural instinct for her. So instinct number one, she runs out and she tells her other two oldest daughters to get Rin and her oldest daughter inside of the house, because she's injured and she's screaming and she's like, got blood, she's bloody. So she's like, get your sister inside of the house. And then Megumi, when she runs inside of the house, she doesn't go to help Rin automatically. Instead, what she does is she goes for a sword. And she finds this old, dragon sword, a sword with a dragon head on it, that Hitoshi picked up from China during his overseas travel, because he's a traveling merchant. So he just bought it because he thought it was pretty and he felt like it had good balance and it was like a perfect blade. But he also thought it was too pretty to use in battle, so he doesn't really carry it around. It's just like a house decoration. But Megumi goes for this sword immediately. And what she does is she grabs it, and then, like, while she's running to the door, she doesn't even notice what she does. While she's running to the door to give this sword to Hitoshi, because his other swords are actually breaking, and his other weapons are all broken from fighting this demon. But on her way, she actually cuts her hand. Right? It doesn't even register to her that she does. She had no idea what she just did. Like, after this, she just realizes that her hand is bloody. She thinks she injured herself somehow, right? But she cuts her own hand, and then she throws this sword to Hitoshi. And Hitoshi, he's too busy getting his ass whipped. So, like, this demon dog is not playing around with him, because it's starting to realize that this guy is a threat, and he just won't give up. And also, Hitoshi's fighting skills for a 64-year-old guy, they're pretty damn good. So, like, because he used to be a soldier, and he, like, his traveling overseas and fighting against pirates and merchants have kept him in very good shape. So he's not just a traveling merchant. He was also, like, kind of an enforcer, during his overseas travel. So he's kept up with his sword skills, right? So this demon is having a hard time dealing with this guy, even though, like, Hitoshi's getting, like, the worst end of this. I mean, he's just getting smacked around like a tennis ball. But he's still keeping up with the demon and not letting it get too close to his family, right? So when Megumi tosses in the sword, like, Hitoshi doesn't have time to think or anything. He doesn't have a weapon, but he manages to grab it, and he swings it in a defensive pose, and he manages to cut this demon's tail right off. And so, like, Hitoshi picks up on that immediately. He's like, oh shit, I have a weapon that works against his dog. And he just starts going ham on this thing, like stabbing it and doing whatever kind of damage, because the sword is doing damage to this, and this is the first time, right? Well, of course, the demon dog doesn't really like that so much, so it starts fighting more aggressively, and Hitoshi manages to stab one of his eyes out, and it's a very fierce battle. The rest of the family, like, inside of the house, Megumi, she's totally worried because she doesn't see Ryoko. She doesn't see her youngest daughter around anywhere. But at the same time, she's got an injured older daughter in the house. So, like, Hitoshi, she does what she does what she can, even though she's worried about Ryoko. And so she shuts the door and she starts tending to Rin, who's, like, seriously injured. And so, like, during this whole time, while Hitoshi and the Kuragami are fighting, like, Ryoko finally manages to catch up to her dad, and she just sees him getting handled. He's doing good for an old man, but yeah, this demon is just like really starting to put it on him. So Ryoko, like, she the fighter, but she thought, okay, well, I got to support daddy. And so, like, fortunately, like, she's a bit of a tomboy, and she's a very good shot because she's used to hunting out in the wood by herself. So when they ran across the family that the demon dog killed before, like, she managed to grab a bow and arrow from like the cart, and so like while she's stringing it and trying to give like Hitoshi some support, like the string breaks right here. So like she has to actually kind of restring this thing, and so that takes a little bit of time. And during this time, like the demon finally managed to pin Hitoshi again, and this time it just like steps on his hand and crushes his hand completely. So from this point on in the story, Hitoshi is crippled. He cannot use his right hand to fight anymore or do anything. It's just like all of the bones have been crushed. He still has the shape, but it's just useless to him from this point. And like seeing this, like Ryoko, she's like really like struggling hard to get that bow restrung, and she manages to do it. But I want you to notice, like, while she's stringing her bow, like her blood is dripping onto the bowstring. I mean, she's like everything around her is just bloody. So even the arrow tip and the arrow that she's using is blood covered, right? And so like but she doesn't really register any of this. She's just trying to get that thing off of her dad. So like she strings the bow. She like realizes she doesn't have a lot of time. She pulls back the arrow. She says a quick little prayer, and then she lets it go. And she's expecting just like a normal release. This when she releases this arrow, it knocks her on her ass. Not just on her ass. I mean, it just knocks her across the like field and like sends her tumbling into like like some debris. And so she doesn't actually even see what happens after that because she just gets blown away by a power that she'd never released before. And so as this blows her away, Hitoshi, he's like under the dog. He's like in a lot of pain because his arm has just been like pancaked basically. And the demon dog, it looks up and it just sees this arrow flying towards it. And then like like as soon as the arrow hits it, it just like in this comic, it just kind of blows a hole in the demon dog's head, in his neck. But in the updated version of the comic, I'm actually gonna have it blow its whole head off. Yeah. So let's see. I think I've got like let's jump over here and see if I got. We're gonna take a look at my Kickstarter campaign for issue number 3. I've also got like some anime that you can watch on here as well. Because while this Kickstarter is focusing on the comic series, like I am also doing like animated clips. So I just did a good animated clip of Hitoshi fighting this demon. So do I have some of the updated artwork? I'm checking to see if I have that one here. Maybe that's under an update. Well, you can check the Kickstarter because I have been putting like some updated artwork on here as well. So I'm doing like some character profile updates. Let's see. Okay, well, I'll get back to that later. Because I kind of want to continue with the story. So we've got the water dragon, Hitoshi. Yeah, it's somewhere on here, I think. First part questions. Yeah, I think I have that artwork posted on here somewhere. So, iconic imagery, issue. Oh, okay. Maybe it's under this one. So, this is like one of the updates on my Kickstarter. I'm just checking to see if I've got like the picture of the new artwork here. No, I don't. Okay, well, I'll find that later for you guys. Anyway, like back to the comic. So this is Ryoko. I'll explain what this one is in a little bit. This is Ryoko a couple of years later. After the events of comic issue number 1. But let's get back to the comic. So Ryoko shoots her arrow, and it actually winds up blowing this demon's head almost completely off, right? With a power that she had never manifested before. Right, and so the demon dog hits the ground dead, and then it just evaporates into smoke and ash, right? And after that, Megumi and the other daughter, they run out to check on Hitoshi, who's really fucked up. I mean, this guy had been through the ringer, so he's had a very bad day. His best friend is dead. His oldest daughter is wounded. His youngest daughter, his whole family is terrified. He's got a crushed arm, and so this was not like the welcoming party that he was kind of expecting to have when he arrived in Japan a few days ago and started heading home. But for now, the danger seems to be gone. Now, I do have to reiterate that at this point, nobody actually really knows what happened to the demon, because Hitoshi was pinned down by it, so he couldn't see what happened. Megumi and her daughters were inside of the house, taking care of Rin. Ryoko, when she shot the arrow, she didn't even see if she hit the demon, because she just got blasted back. And then when everybody recovered, the demon was just gone. Right? It just Hitoshi saw it fall over and evaporate, but he doesn't know why it fell over. So he didn't get a chance to see, he wasn't in a position to see Ryoko actually shoot the arrow, right? So nobody knows exactly what happened to the demon. It just vanished, and the skies turned back to normal, and then everything just went quiet. So, as you can imagine, after they get Hitoshi and bring him into the house, there are no doctors. There are no other villagers in this area, which is something that I've kind of explained in the other, in a previous video where I was explaining about Hitoshi's background, why they live so far away from the villagers and the towns. There is a reason for that, so I recommend that you watch the YouTube video. Which one? Watch this YouTube video. Where are you? About Hitoshi right here. So this is character file 1, Hitoshi Explained, and that'll explain a lot of the stories that I'm not able to really cover in the comics. Yeah, so definitely check that out, and that'll explain why they're intentionally living so far away from other towns or villages, right? But back to the comic, comic issue number 1. That day was horrifying for the entire family. They're all traumatized by this. So for the next couple months, 3 or 4 months, nobody actually goes outside. They're just sticking to what they have in the house. And then once they're sure that kind of feeling safe that no other demon is going to come for them, then they start, they have to survive and stuff like that. But this totally completely changes their lives, of course. It changes the whole family dynamic. Rin, she's she just lost her future husband and her future arranged marriage. That's all gone. So she's depressed. She's terrified. The other girl, who we haven't really seen in the comics, we don't really meet in the comics in this comic so much. They also are terrified because their daddy almost just got killed. Even though they didn't see a lot of it, they were still there and experienced it. Ryoko, she's confused and she's terrified. Megumi also has no idea what all of this is about. But they do realize that staying in a secluded area is kind of dangerous for them now. One, Hitoshi cannot work anymore. He cannot be a traveling merchant anymore because he cannot use a sword, and he can't he's not able to do much on the ship. So his career is finished. Also, they're kind of worried that if something else happens, that they don't have any other and they're not surrounded by other people, that other demons or whatever might come for them. Even though they have no proof of that, they're still kind of worried about it. And also, Hata is dead, so they don't really have any support coming from the village or the town. So, after a while, Hitoshi and Megumi, they talk about it, and they're what are we going to do? This is not, we can't stay out here. We have 6 daughters, and what if something happens? What if that thing comes back? And so they make a decision. They're okay, well, we're gonna have to move. They've lived in this house their whole lives. Hold on, let me turn that off. So they've lived in this house basically their whole adult lives, but they're just okay, we gotta pack up and we gotta leave. So they do. The family does wind up moving to Hata's village. So and so they move after about maybe 6 months. They pack up and they finally move. After Hitoshi can kind of move around and gets used to having to not having his right arm. So they move to the village, and then 3 years later they're still kind of living there. And during this time, they actually start having kind of a normal life. So, it's like 3 years have passed. They're having a nice, like, normal family life in this village. The people are nice and friendly. They actually have a house, a better house. And, they don't really, nothing like, Hitoshi starts a new job, and nothing really happens. Like, nothing unusual happens. And so, like, for a while, things are going pretty good for the Morita family, right? And they're not able to forget about that day, but they are able to kind of start moving on from it. So this is kind of like the recap of issue number one and what happened there. So on the last few panels of issue number one, you see like Rin with the flower, and like now we're going to go ahead and jump over to the Ryukage issue number two. Now for Ryukage issue number two, what happened is I was working with the artist before, and when we released number one, and then so we were able to like write and ink and color issue number one. But then in the middle of like we started issue number two, so we got to the writing and we got to the inking process, but we were not able to color it. And because like there were just like I think or the earthquake, Lehman shock, and all of this other stuff, and we both just kind of got busy. So my artist kind of got busy, and I got busy. So we were kind of left with the inked version of issue number two. So that's what we're kind of going to be going over today. So this is the Ryukage issue number two, and this is the cover art for that. And if you'll notice, like we have a couple of we have like a lot of new characters that are going to start being introduced in this comic, right? Now, this comic is I'll tell you who all of these guys are in a little bit as we go through the comic, but and I'll explain what this thing is as well. All right, so like at the end of comic issue number one, the Morita family moved to Hata's village, so they're now living like a more like in a more civilized area, like around other villagers, and like things are starting to kind of like become normal, like daily life for them. And let's see, so this is where issue number two starts, the inked version. So after issue number one, they're kind of living in the city. So this is Rin, the oldest daughter, right here. And let's see. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and like take a break. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna like show you what the new characters are gonna look like. Since this is not the colored version, it's easier for me to introduce you to what their new like their new comic version they're going to look like. So this is Rin, and I'll get into the backstories for these characters later. But we're going to jump over to my Patreon page right now, and I'll show you what each of the Morita sisters kind of looks like at the moment. All right. So, sorry. Now, this is what you're looking at is you're looking at my Patreon page, and this is another account that I kind of use like to like check and see how my page is going. So my Patreon does have a lot of locked content for my WildFIRE Expanded universe, because like this is where all of the character profiles and the deep lore are kind of hidden, and like the secret stuff and like the downloads and stuff like that, right? So this is for members only. So what I'll do is I'll jump over here and like I'll jump over to my creator account, and then I'll show you what each family member looks like now, and we'll compare them to their comic version. So like all right. So in the new version of the comic, this is Megumi. This is what she would look like. So in the old comic version, Megumi was like, I'll bring this back up here, introduce you to all the family members. So in the old comic version, Megumi kind of looked like this. In the new comic version, like she'll look like this because she is a 61-year-old lady, and she kind of got silverish white hair. So this will be what she looks like in the comics going forward. And also, I do kind of want you to notice that there are two foxes behind her. That will become a factor later. So yeah, just put that in a note. Like Megumi always has foxes around her, right? Then this is what Hitoshi now looks like. So this is him in the previous comic. Had a little bit darker hair, stuff like that. But this is his new updated look. And this is him after he's fought with Demon number one, so he cannot use his right hand anymore. But so it's completely limp. But he can still fight. All right, so that's Hitoshi. Next, we need to start going through the daughters because not a lot of them were actually introduced in comic issue number 1. So before I start explaining comic issue number 2, we're going to go ahead and take a look at kind of get a breakdown of the daughters. Now, keep in mind there is a time skip. There's a three-year time skip between when the first demon shows up and when they have to deal with and the storyline kind of going forward, right? So in the previous version of the comics, like the 2012 version, this was Rin, the oldest daughter. She is about like 21 years old during the first comic when the first demon attacks. So so in the new version of the comic, this is what Rin looks like now. So yeah, this is her after they've moved to the city. And these are kind of her colors, and we'll get into that later. So this is the oldest daughter, Rin, who is like the more responsible one and stuff like that. And she's still like heavily traumatized, and I'll explain why specifically for her that that living in this village kind of hits kind of hard. But this is the oldest daughter. The second oldest daughter is this one. This is Fujiko. What she looked like in the original comics. And Fujiko would be about like 19. So this is Fujiko, and like, okay, I love all of my characters. All of my girls, these are all my girls. But Fujiko, she's got a story, and like, yeah, if you've watched some of my previous streams, I have kind of talked about her a little bit, but we're gonna get into her much later today because like all of these characters, all of these girls are gonna become like major characters. We're gonna have to explain a lot about them. But Fujiko, she is one of my favorite characters for the Ryukage story arc. And I'll explain why later. But you can kind of get an idea of her personality just kind of by looking at her and telling and kind of gauging what's going on around her at the moment, right? So she is like the playgirl of the group, basically, right? But she's like she is now 19 years old. She was like 16 when the first demon attacked. So she's like, oh wait a minute, yeah, she was 16 when the first demon 16 when the first demon attacked. All right. So this is the second daughter, the second oldest. Then over here is Saya. And in the previous version, when we first did the comics, a lot of the characters did kind of like look way too similar. So that's why I've gone, in the new version of this, I really want them to have their own distinctive looks to where it's like difficult to get them confused. So this is the third daughter, and her name is Saya. So this is Saya, and this is what she'll look like in the comics going forward. She is the nerd of the family. She loves books and stuff like that. But we'll get more into her background as well later. So this is the third oldest daughter. Then we're getting into the younger ones. So the one in the green right here, this is actually Tomoka, right? So Tomoka, she's about 14 at this time. Yeah. Yeah, she would be about Ryoko was 10, then Masami is 11, and there's a gap. There's a gap between Masami and Tomoka. So Tomoka would have been 13 at this time, or 13 when the demon attacked. So she's a little bit older now, but this is her. So she's one of the younger ones, the fourth daughter. And let's see. We'll definitely talk about her a lot later. I love all of them, so I keep on saying she's one of my favorites. She's one of my favorites. They're all one of my favorites, though. So this is Tomoka. The one hiding behind Megumi is Masami, and her story. You're gonna love Masami. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but this is what Masami looks like now. Now, people are noticing that you'll notice that two of Hitoshi's daughters do have reddish brown hair. That's because Hitoshi's mother also had reddish brown hair. So this is Masami. She is the fifth oldest sister, she's actually the second youngest sister, I guess you could say. And she is a sucker for anmitsu. So you can bribe this girl with almost anything. You can bribe this girl for almost anything using anmitsu. That's one of her main character weaknesses. She loves sweets. And so but this is her. She's 1 year older, a year and a half older than Ryoko, the baby of the family, right? And so everybody loves her. So, and then last, of course, lastly is going to be, where are you? it's gonna be Ryoko, the main protagonist. So like of well, one of the main, well, one of the key focal characters of the Ryukage story arc. So she was 10 when the demon attacked, and this will be her updated look now. Yeah. So this is Ryoko and her dog Masamune-kun, which I'll explain like later as well. Right, so this is what all of the family members kind of look like. All of the Morita family members look like at the moment. So Megumi, Hitoshi, Rin, Fujiko, Saya, Tomoka, Masami, and Ryoko. This is what they're going to look like going forward in the comics, right? So I did all of that, you know, because now that we're like kind of finally jumping into issue number 2, this will help kind of this should help you to kind of visualize what's kind of going on, since this is not a colored version of the comic. So after the events of comic issue number 1, after the demon had like after the first demon showed up. Notice I said first demon. So this is going to become a recurring thing. So after the first demon comes up and they barely manage to like defeat it, even though remember nobody still knows how that happened, but that was all because of Ryoko, and even she didn't see what happened. But after the first demon is like defeated, then they wind up the family decides to move to the village that Hata was living in, and now during this move, they move to the village, and they actually are supported, you know, by Hata's wife. So Hata was also married, and he had a wife and a daughter that live in this village, and Hata's wife already knows Rin very well, because Rin and Toshiyuki, Hata's son, actually went to the same school together. Because like Hitoshi and Megumi, they basically raised Rin to be the educated one of the family. So they paid for her school. They sent her like to school like 3 hours away, and when she would get to the village, Hata and his wife and Toshiyuki would actually kind of take care of Rin. So after Hata was killed, now Hitoshi and Megumi, they didn't tell Hata's wife how Hata actually died. They didn't tell her that her husband and her son had been killed by a demon that was after them. Instead, they showed up to the village after it was announced that Hata was dead. So they came up with the cover story that he was probably killed by merchants. Him and his son were killed by not by merchants, by bandits while they were traveling on business, right? And so, of course, like Hata's wife is very sad, and she's still got a daughter to take care of. But like I said, Hata did very well for himself in the city, so he's very well respected. He's a very good businessman, and he has a huge fortune, basically. And so, and like him and Hitoshi have been best friends their whole life, and Hata kind of dedicated himself to taking care, to like supporting like Hata and like Hitoshi and his family, right? So after Hata died, it was kind of Hitoshi and Megumi's natural instinct, because they didn't know where else to go, to head to Hata's village. And when they got there, they met with Hata's wife, and you know, of course, she was sad that her husband and her only son were dead, but she's also a very practical person and very business minded. She does not know anything about Megumi. She doesn't know about Megumi's past, because like Hata and his wife met after Hitoshi and Hata got out of the military, and Hitoshi moved to the countryside with Megumi. So she doesn't know anything about Megumi's past or anything like that, because Hata never told her anything. And Megumi didn't really go to the village that much, because whenever she showed up to the village, okay, so Megumi is Megumi is a mystery that we'll definitely have to like talk about, but because her past is completely mysterious, right? But when she was young, well, I mean, she's a gorgeous lady, right? And so when she would go to the village, like I'll show you what she kind of used to look like before we continue with the story. So. Right. So this is what this is what Megumi looks like in the video game. So I'll quickly show you that. So I am making a video game, based on the storyline. So this is Megumi in the video game Ryukage Run, which is basically I'm making an endless runner of the story that we're talking about right now. So Ryoko, the youngest daughter, will be the main protagonist, and she's gonna have like different summons of different characters in the comics that I'm kind of working on at the moment. And Megumi, her mother, will be also in the game as one of the healing spells, right? So yeah, this is what she looks like in her in her game format. But when Megumi was much younger, one, she's mysterious, and two, like she's super gorgeous, right? So this is what she looked like. I mean, this girl is drop dead beautiful. Even at the age of 40, this is what she looked like, right? So what happened is Hata actually had to stop her from coming to the village, because when Hitoshi would go out to sea, well, Megumi was at home by herself, and she had to take care of her kids, so she would have to go shopping and stuff sometimes, or like stop by the village sometimes. But whenever she would show up, guys would be all over her because like she has unearthly beauty for a reason. And so fortunately Hata and his wife were there, so they'd be like, okay, well, they had to come up with a cover story for Megumi, and so they'd be like, okay, well, this is like Hata's cousin. So that way they could kind of protect her. It's like, okay, well, this is this person is related to Hata-san and Hata-san's family, and Hata had a lot of power and influence in the town nearby and in the village. So people tended to leave Megumi alone, but that did not stop guys from trying to get with her. So Hata eventually he's like, yo, Megumi, he's like, I know that you got to do shopping. He's like, from now on, just me and Toshiyuki will just deliver stuff. Like he's like, you don't have to come to the village anymore because it's just causing me trouble, because I got to explain all of this stuff, and kind of keep guys from trying to find out where you live, kind of thing. But this is Megumi when she was in her mid 40s, but she still looked like 20, right? And she's got a lot of vibrant energy with her, right? So when they moved to the city, Hata's wife, she already knows Megumi, and she already knows Rin very well, because Rin is kind of like a second daughter to her. So even though she said that her husband and her son are dead, she does she knows what Hata would have wanted, and so Hata would have wanted her to support the Morita family, and so that's what she does. She's like, yeah, this is Hata's cousin is coming to live in this village, so she helps him get all set up and stuff like that. And so and she helps Hitoshi find a job as a blacksmith, because all he's ever done is fight and be a traveling merchant. So he's very well versed worldwide, but he's never actually worked a normal job in a village. So she actually helped him get adapted. So during this time, the Morita family, they're actually doing pretty good. Hitoshi's got a good job. Rin had she is her fiance's dead, so she's available now, and all of the guys in the village kind of know this, and so she's the darling of the village. Very beautiful, elegant, highly educated girl, and she doesn't really show her emotions or her other side so much. So because she was raised to be a proper Japanese marrying type girl, right? That was kind of what she was groomed for by Megumi and Hitoshi, because she was supposed to marry Hata's son, right? And they were just gonna live in the house and have a good life, but that didn't work out because the demon showed up and decided to eat her fiance. So anyway, she is very friendly with all of the other guys because she's got a ton of suitors. So in this comic, 3 years later, she's just kind of heading home, saying hi to everybody, and then she runs into Hitoshi, who's got the 3 claw marks across his chest. Now, the cover story for this is that Hitoshi was attacked by a bear when he was in China, a sloth bear. Because people notice that when he's working, he kind of got his chest cut open. So the rumor that he got attacked by a wild animal, a sloth bear, in China, and that's also what happened to his arm. So that's why he had to retire from being a traveling merchant. So that's the cover story that they're going with, right? Attacked by a wild animal, got mauled, and had to retire. So anyway, Hitoshi, he's actually having a good time in the city, working as a blacksmith. Just kind of building useful stuff. He doesn't like to make weapons, so he likes using his craftsmanship for other stuff. but he's working hard. He's making money for his family, and he's actually like starting to settle into this job, right? So Rin, she comes to bring him like his family always comes to visit him anyway. But Rin, she when she's on her way home, she stops by to see her father. Um, and today is kind of like a special day, so she's actually coming to pick him up. So, when she stops by to pick him up, they head out to the woods and they start walking toward their old house. And of course, they're having a father-daughter conversation. Hitoshi's still worried about her because he knows that she's still traumatized from living in that village because that's where her ex-fiance used to live. And she really loved Toshiyuki because they kind of grew up together. So he doesn't really feel good. He doesn't really. He feels that she's hiding her sorrow for every time she's in the village, but she's being a real champ about it, for the sake of her family. But he knows it does take a mental toll on her. And so, like him and her, they have to go out sometimes just to get away from the village, and that's one reason why he's taking her out. Also, today is a special day because it is the anniversary of the first demon's attack, the 3rd-year anniversary after the first demon's attack, and so they're actually heading back to their old house, about 3 hours away. So they're heading back to their old house about 3 hours away, they're not there to really look at the house or anything because that thing's old and run down, but they are actually there to pay respects to Hata and his son because Hata and her fiance Toshiyuki, because the Morita family is the only one that knows where they're buried, knows what actually happened, so they actually buried them there. And so every year, the family goes back, especially Hitoshi and Rin. Actually, Hitoshi and Rin go back every year to pay their respects to Hata and his son, who died protecting them. The other daughters, they didn't really see what's going on, and they respect Hata and they know about the sacrifice, but they don't necessarily make the trip every year because Megumi and Hitoshi decided that they don't want to keep on reminding the younger girls of what happened that day, so they want them to kind of move on. But Rin and Hitoshi, they make this trip every year. So this year they're going back and they're just paying the respects. It's been 3 years, and Hitoshi, like I said, Hata was his best friend, his lifelong best friend. So Hitoshi pours one out for him, him and his son, and they share a moment. They pay their respects, and then right after they're finished paying their respects, on their way home, Rin, they're walking home, and then both Rin and Hitoshi start feeling pain, and not just a normal kind of pain. This is the unusual, very deep-rooted, seated kind of pain that it's a throbbing, burning kind of pain, right? And it's a pain that they felt before, and this is what scares them. All right, so while they're walking, Rin, she's she starts feeling it first, and then Hitoshi starts feeling it in second, and then Hitoshi what's up, and Rin, she's it's her leg. Now, if you'll remember from if you'll remember from the recap of comic issue #1, when the demon attacked the Morita's family's house, and it attacked Rin, it stabbed her in the leg, right, with its tail. So right here, yeah. So she just gets stabbed in the leg by the demon's tail. Now, this will become a very important thing going forward in the comics because Rin and Hitoshi, since they took damage from a Kuragami demon and survived, they can detect when a demon is coming for the family. So, and that's exactly what's happening here. So their previous injuries from demon #1 actually act as a warning signal when another demon is starting to come. So Rin, her leg starts bleeding for no reason. Hitoshi, all of his wounds start to open up and he starts bleeding. And so, and then right when they start bleeding, they look up and they see red skies heading their way. And they're like, oh shit, there is another demon. Now, remember, they did not see, only Hitoshi saw the demon vanish, but he didn't know why it vanished. He didn't know that Ryoko managed to kill it, right? So he's just it was on top of me, I was getting crushed, and then it just vanished for some reason. It fell over and vanished. But because it's still kind of like an open-ended discussion of what actually happened to the demon. Did it die? Did the sunlight kill it? Did it just run away or just give up for some reason? They don't know, but they do know that when they see red skies and that are heading directly toward them, that's a fucking problem. So they turn around and they see the red skies and like the dark clouds and the lightning heading their way, and they're like, okay, there's another demon. This demon is back and it's heading straight for us. Now they both they just book it right back to the city. They're just okay. Well, this is happening again. So like they run straight back to the city, and the clouds are still kind of far away, but they're approaching quickly, right? So when they get back, fortunately they get back before the clouds can actually hit the city. They're still they still have like some time. But as soon as they hit the house, as soon as they hit the village, they they run straight for the house. They start getting their calling out for their the other daughters. So they see Ryoko and they see Tomoka and Masami, and they're like, everybody get into the house. And so so they make everybody get into the house. And of course, this right here, Ryoko, and she's like, I didn't even do anything this time, and she's like, just do what he says. And so they get all of the daughters, and they're looking for Fujiko, and Fujiko, she's like standing right there. We have to talk about Fujiko. We're definitely gonna get into Fujiko after this. So this is gonna be a pretty long stream because I think I'm gonna continue after I've covered issue number 2, and I think I'll do a breakdown of all the characters. But they're like, where's Fujiko? Where's Fujiko? Because this girl is never home. So when she needs to be, and so that's just a natural question. But Fujiko's like, I'm actually here this time. What's going on? And then Rin, she's just like, red skies, mom. Everybody in the family goes quiet because they know what red skies means. So Megumi, she's like, red skies. Now I'll have to explain a little bit more. But Megumi, she's like, red skies. Oh no, it can't be. But actually, Megumi felt something before. Before Hitoshi and Rin made it back home. So she was already anxious, and actually she had already started looking for her daughters because she felt something was off. Even hours before. Her husband and her oldest daughter showed up. So she started feeling uneasy, and she started telling the other girls, she's like, hey, go find your sisters. Just naturally. So there's something about Megumi, right? So anyways, what happens is everybody gets into the house, and they're like, okay, well, this demon is coming back. We got red skies heading our way. And so what Hitoshi does, he's like, well, I thought this was over, but apparently not. I'm gonna have to go fight this demon again. So he runs and he goes and he grabs the dragon sword, the same sword that he used in the previous battle against the demon dog, the one that was actually able to do damage to it. So he just instinctively runs and grabs his sword because he thinks that because of his battle with the demon, and because this was the only thing that he actually saw do damage to the demon dog, he's like, this is the weapon that can defeat it, right? So he didn't see any of the other stuff that happened up to that point. He just I had a sword, it cut, it stabbed it, it worked. I'm going to use this weapon. So he grabs that sword, and then he's and then he goes over to Rin, and he rips some of her cloth off, some of her bloody cloth off, and wraps it around the sword. And he's because he's thinking okay, well the demon was a dog, so if if it's the same dog, and then it's gonna track by smell, and that's why it's heading to our house. So I need to draw use this bloody scent to cut it off and drag get it away from the house, right? And the whole family's already not feeling his game plan. They're like, you have one arm, you're gonna die if you fight against this thing, right? And he's like, well, I got no choice. There's nobody else who can defend us against it. And I've dealt with this thing before, so just let me do my thing, right? And he's not gonna take no for an answer, this time. So he's like, we just got our lives back together. I'm not about to let that thing come and take it away from us again. And Megumi, this time she tries to stop him because she knows that this is a death sentence for him. So she's like, you cannot go out there by yourself. You have no clue what you're up against. And the girl needs you here. I won't let you go. And Hitoshi but Hitoshi doesn't really see any other option except for him to leave the village and try to draw this demon away and find a way to kill it, right? And he thinks he can do it with the sword. So because another thing that Hitoshi doesn't want is he doesn't want this demon coming to the village. He doesn't want the demon showing up in Hata's village. Because Hata already died. Hata's son gave his life, and Hata's wife and daughter are in this village as well. So Hitoshi's not necessarily just thinking about protecting his family. He's thinking, I have to get this demon away from the village and kill it somehow. That's all that's going through his mind. I cannot let it get here. So he grabs the demon sword. He gets the blood. He's like, sorry, baby, but he's like, I already know what's coming. I know where it's heading. It's coming straight for us. I have to get it out. I got to get it away from here. That's it. That's the only thing that's going through his mind. So he kisses Megumi, and then but she's like holding on to him, and she's not gonna let him go. So he had kind of shove her off of him. He's like, I don't have time for this. I gotta go. And so and so he heads out. He's like, I've dealt with this before. And this whole time he's thinking of a plan. He's like, okay, it's a dog, keen sense of smell. Let me get outside of the city. I run to the woods, somewhere close by where I have where it doesn't have any place to hide. And then I'll use the smell, and then I'll draw it out there, and then I will use the sword to kill it. And so that's what he does. He runs out all the way out to the woods. And so now keep in mind he's still hurting, because his wounds are still open, and he's already kind of bleeding anyway. But his plan does kind of work. I say his plan works a little bit. So he runs out there, gets to a good open space, and then he sees the clouds start kind of change. He sees the clouds kind of change direction, and started heading his way. So he's thinking that his plan worked. He thought, okay, I'm a little bit away from the village, and the clouds seem to be shifting towards me. Good. So he's actually kind of waiting to ambush this dog, right? And so he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna stand out of the open. I've got a lot of open space, so when it comes, I can actually see it coming. It would be dangerous if he was in the woods, right? Because he would have no idea where it could attack him from. But here he's like, I got open space. I can see it. This gives me a little bit of an even field for playing, right? So for fighting. So he's like, I know you're here. Now I can sense it. He can sense it getting closer to him because he's been cut by the demon before. And so unfortunately, this time his plan worked a little bit because he was able to draw the demon away from the village and away from his family. The problem is he drew the wrong demon. This time it is not a dog. So instead it is a centipede. This is demon number 2, the metal centipede. So while Hitoshi's there waiting for a dog to show up and getting ready to have a round 2 with the demon dog, he doesn't realize that he is facing a completely different and much stronger demon. And the thing just he's sensing it all around him because this demon is huge and it's long, right? So he can't really pinpoint the direction that it's coming from because it's coming from everywhere. So so the demon catches up to him and they get ready to battle. All right, so let us take a break to take a look at Hitoshi again. So this is Megumi. This is her doing her thing, being a good wife. And this is Hitoshi, the good, loyal, very brave father, who has given his life, his whole life to protecting his family and his wife and his daughters. All right, and very cool guy, very loyal guy. If it wasn't for him, the Ryukage would have never started. However, this is where Hitoshi's story kind of ends. All right, so I know a lot of you might have been expecting, because of the way that I've been talking, I kind of think maybe people might have expected for Hitoshi to be a major part in the upcoming saga. However, that is not necessarily going to be the case from here on out. So while Hitoshi is out there bravely getting ready to face down this demon, these guys are on their way to a village, right? Or these guys are just kind of traveling, right? And so now we get into some of the new characters that are being introduced into the Ryukage storyline. And that is the warrior monks, right? So what you're looking at here is you're looking at the guy that we saw on the cover. So let me introduce these. This is Tao Lun, and he is a traveling monk. And his backstory is amazing. You guys are gonna love this guy. But not so much of it is explained in the comics right now because that will be with comic issue number 3 going forward. But this is Tao Lun, and he's like the leader of a band of traveling warrior monks, right? So this is Tao Lun, and then I guess I will go ahead and show you all of these guys as well, or at least briefly introduce you to them. So, bye Hitoshi. Let's see, back on my Patreon page over here. Let's see if I can find a good picture of these guys. All right, so we've introduced the. Come on, guys, where are you? Yeah, I have like so much content on here. I have trouble keeping up sometimes. My boys, where are my boys? Where are my boys? Oh, these are the descendants, by the way. So yeah, just to kind of like spoil that for you. So Hitoshi. Oh, here's the updated panel of Ryoko fighting Kuragami Demon number 1 when she shoots her arrow. And I think I don't have the panel of her actually blowing this thing's head off. But you know, that's kind of what the updated artwork is gonna look like. All right, Hitoshi versus Kura. Where are you? Where my boy's at? Okay, I managed to misplace that somewhere. All right. Let's see. Well, here's like what one of them looks like. So these are like kind of the guy that we're going to be starting to meet in the that we're going to meet in issue number 2 that I'm explaining right now. This is kind of like the Metal Centipede, one of the Metal Centipede's attacks. So yeah, I can't find what I did with that though. Quips. I have a lot of content on my Patreon page. Sorry, like way too much. A lot of this stuff I kind of don't want to like reveal too much on my YouTube streams because I want people to like you know check out the story and check out the character profiles and stuff like that. So I'm gonna speed run through this just so that you know. Oh, okay. Is this my voice? No, that's not my voice. Oh, guys, where are you? Oh, that's me playing Jubilee and Marvel Rival. I'm getting off track here, but here's Ryoko again. Some new comic panels. I mean, I put a lot of content on Patreon, so it's kind of hard for me to like find things initially when I want to. Story arc 1. Guide. I'm looking for like a shot with all of them in it. That was my garden. But yeah, just check out my Patreon page. I've got like a ton of like stuff on here. Come on, go. Okay, I'm not finding it. Okay, well. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well. Yeah. Just check out my Patreon page. You'll see kind of what I'm talking about here. I think so. Yeah. Back to the story. All right. So, what did I do with that? I have an image that has all 6 of them because I kind of don't want to break them all like down one by one at the moment. Okay, yeah, I'm not finding it. Never mind. Oh, hold on. I might be able to, like, find it here. Yeah, I've got my, on my Patreon page, I also, like, play video games and do, like, movie reviews. So I just did a review of comic issue number 1. Okay, well, I guess I'll use this one. So, this is like Ryoko, after like, you know, things kind of pick up. So, like, in the comics. So, I'll start introducing you to some of these guys. No, remind me later, get off my screen. Yeah, so, Right. So here are like some of the guys that we're gonna meet. So in comic issue number 2, we started getting introduced to these guys. So this is their master Taolun. This right here is Masato. So he's the oldest one, and he is well, basically like all of them have different elemental powers, right? So this is Masato. He's the oldest one and kind of like the leader of the group. Next we've got the next one that you're seeing over here. This is Keiichi. And Keiichi, he's also one of my favorite characters. All of them are my favorite characters, but like he's also one of the key characters in the WildFIRE in the Ryukage story arc. Because, and I'll explain why later. So this is Masato, Keiichi. Then in the next one we've got more of the boys. This is Shinji. He's the second oldest one. This is Takashi. He's the third oldest one. And then we also have this here is Hideyasu. He's the fourth oldest one, and he's the fifth oldest one. And then we have Daihachi over here. So we've got number 1, number 2, number 3, and Keiichi's number 4. And then like Hideyasu is number 5. And then the last one, the youngest one, is Daihachi, right? Number 6, right? So 6 boys, 6 girls in this storyline, right? So these are the guys that you're kind of looking at right here. So like Masato, Shinji, Keiichi, Takashi, Hideyasu, and then Daihachi over here. Now, so this will give you like some context because you're not going to be able to see them in color in issue number 2, but they will be in color from issue number 3 going forward. So, like after Hitoshi runs out there and decides to face this demon down, like these guys, they're already like en route. They're in transit going somewhere. And what happens is like they also notice the red clouds and the black skies. And so now Taolun, their master, already knows something's up. He already because their mission is actually they are traveling Japan because they are hunting demon gates, right? So he's kind of like a father figure to all of these boys. None of them are related by blood. And so I'll have to explain their backstories later. But none of these warrior monks are related by blood. They were all picked up by Taolun in his travels. And when you read his profile on my Patreon, you're going to find out how old this guy is and what he's doing, what he's been doing. He's got an awesome backstory. So definitely check that out on my Patreon. But they've been traveling Japan, going from place to place, looking for demon gates to seal, right? That is their mission. And so when they're traveling, they see black skies. They're hunting down demon seed and they're hunting down demon gates. And so when they're traveling, they see black skies and red skies and black clouds. And Taolun actually recognizes this. Now, his students have never actually dealt with a demon before, a high-level demon before. So they're used to hunting down and sealing gates before they break. Right, but they've never actually had to deal with a broken gate. Their job until now, their job has basically been demon gate maintenance, finding out where the demon gates are getting weaker, and then stopping a breach, basically. But so they've never actually dealt with a demon before, a high level demon before. And so, this time when they're walking, and they see the red skies and the black clouds, Taolun, he immediately knows what happened. He immediately knows, okay, there's been a break, right? And so, they start heading in that direction. And so, he's Masato is his right hand at the moment, right? So he's very serious, he's very stoic, he's like Cyclops from the X-Men. He follows his teacher's, advice, but he's also kind of strong-willed because if he doesn't agree with Taolun, he'll tell him I don't think this is a good idea, So he's very vocal, but he tends to default to his teacher's way of thinking. So they're talking about these clouds, and Masato notices that Taolun is not acting like himself. He's okay, yeah. He's those clouds hold a tremendous amount of bloodlust. I haven't felt anything this strong since it's like, you know. And during that time, like Keiichi, you know, he screamed, he yelled out, "Hey, master, like Tao, come quickly!" And this is where we find Hitoshi. All right. So now in this version of the comics, his injuries don't really look as bad. I mean, he looked bad, but in the new version of this, like these holes are not so small. So they're like, Keiichi, what have you found? And they find Hitoshi, just kind of laying in the field. He put up a very valiant battle, but one, he was already losing blood, so he was already kind of getting weak anyway. But two, like the enemy that he was facing was not the enemy that he expected to face. So he has been poisoned and he has been like basically shredded. You know, this demon had no mercy on him at all. He just looks a lot better because the demon didn't feel like you know, wasting that much energy on him because it had other stuff to do. So it just like poisoned him, stabbed him up, you know, like handled him, like manhandled him for about like, you know, 10 seconds and then bounced. All right. So you know, they're like Takashi and Keiichi, they're like, you know, looking at his wound, they're like, yeah, this guy messed up and yeah. So and Masato, he's like, yo, okay, Master Tao, what is this? I haven't seen wounds like this before. And but Hitoshi, he's still alive at this point. And so he's like, you know, there's a demon. It's heading towards the village and my family. And so he takes his sword. With his last breath, he takes his sword and he gives it to Keiichi. And so, and then he's like, please, and then Hitoshi just dies. So that is the end of Hitoshi Morita in this storyline. He's not coming back. Yeah, he's permadead. So, and they realize that he has passed on. You know, and that, but like Shinji is the second oldest one, the one with the white hair. Like this guy right here. Yeah, this dude right here. He's like, okay, well, what do we do? And so like, you know, he's Shinji. He's also like one of my favorite characters. He's very serious, very stoic when he needs to be, because he's the second in command basically, and he's under Masato, so he doesn't want to like put so much pressure on Masato. But at the same time, like, he's got a funny side when he's not in business mode, or when he's not like when he doesn't have to be. He's like kind of cool, kind of relaxed, because he's the guy who controls the element of wind. Right, so he's a little bit more like carefree, but he does realize that he has a role to play, so he just does his best to play that role. But this time, you know, a guy just died right in front of him, and this is like one of their first. They've seen people die before, but this situation is completely different, and he could tell that his master also notices that this is a completely different ball game. Right, he's like, well, in Taolun, he's like, well, you know, this was the guy just died. This was his last request. He said a demon, a family, and a village. He's like, I'm not gonna like, you know, we'll give him a proper burial, and then we're gonna head to that village and see what's up. And so that's what they do. They bury Hitoshi out in the woods very quickly, and then like it starts to rain, and then they run straight. They like Taolun knows where the demon is because they just follow the cloud. They run right to the village, but by the time they get there, the whole village is just wrecked. And they just see bodies everywhere. So the demon got into the village, it just went nuts. Just started killing everybody indiscriminately, because that's what Kuragami do. And if they don't have a use for you, then you are in their way. And so it just killed everybody and started killing everyone in the village. And it wasn't done when they got there. So like when they show up, the demon is still on a rampage because the village is like, you know, yeah, pretty decent size. And so yeah, so like Taolun recognizes it as one of the cursed breeds, and he's like, okay, yeah, this is bad. Like, you know, there's been a demon break. One of them managed to escape from, you know, where it was like being contained. So he's like, okay, yeah, this is bad. Like, you know, we're like, I'm trained for this, but my boys aren't. So you know, they've never had to deal with something like this before. And so this demon is just like, some of the villagers though, I mean, like they're still in the village. They can't really run, so a few of them do try to fight. And it doesn't end well for them, so they just like get cut down, get crushed, get their head get eaten, get stabbed. So this thing is just going nuts. But like they don't really know, like, none of the villagers know why they're being attacked by a demon, and this demon, like as Taolun and the other warrior monks are watching this, they notice that this demon seems to be focused on one house, right? So it's like it seems to be pretty obsessed with that house for some reason. And so the demon attacks. It just keeps on, even though it's like killing everybody else, it keeps on coming back to that house and trying to get into it, but it cannot get into the house, right? For some reason, there seems to be a barrier blocking the house, right? So no matter how hard this thing attacks it, it just can't get inside. And so they're like, what the? Like, just as I thought, it's a spiritual barrier, a high level encampment at that, right? So this demon is like breaking itself trying to get inside. Now, inside of this house, we know who's in there. This is Hitoshi's family. Like his wife and his daughters are inside. And like by this time, Rin, like, you know, they're like Rin and the oldest daughter, they all got their knives, you know, because they're just like, well, daddy's not here, so somebody got to defend the youngest one. And like, so they know that they can't, they see the size of this demon. This thing is like a huge, like a bus, and very long. So they know that they can't beat it, but like for something, they can't see what's keeping it outside of the house, but they can just feel it rocking their house, like trying to get inside, right? And they're like, any little tentacle that comes up in here, we're just gonna stab it, scream and stab it. You know, that's their plan. In the meantime, though, the three younger girls, they're in the back. And if you'll notice, they're trying to, like, they're, like, looking at a door, and they're trying to force a door open. And we'll get back to that in a little bit. So, like, the reason why they're trying to force the door open because Megumi is inside of there. Now, we have to talk about Megumi Morita. Like, I've done a breakdown of her background that I just posted not too long ago. It was a little bit long, though, so I was gonna like try to condense it. But basically, remember, like, Megumi doesn't know anything about her background. She doesn't, like, she was born. She was immediately after she was born, she basically just woke up in a temple, surrounded by monks who were like sworn to protect her. So, but the monks never explained anything to Megumi. So she doesn't know like her origin. She doesn't know her last name. She doesn't know anything. She just knows I was born in a temple. And I was raised by monks. And Hitoshi was after Hitoshi rescued her, that was like the only life that she knew. So she's like, I was raised by monks. I got rescued by Hitoshi. I had kids. And then like a demon attacked us, and we like moved here. That's all she knows about herself. So like even like she cannot answer any questions about herself. However, she does have a natural instinct. So when this demon started attacking her house, as soon as it came into the village, she gathered her kids up and she's like, okay, you guys wait in here. And she went into her room and she locked the door, right? And what she'd been doing this whole time is like she's just been praying, right? She's not really praying to any god specifically, but like there's something inside of her like that is connecting to an ancient power, right? And she's just trying to focus on that because she feels it, but she doesn't know what it is, right? And so like she's just thinking, she's like, this feeling, I could sense it. And something is kind of starting to come out of her. And so, like, while she's doing that, she kind of raises her hands, and she's like, she knows that the demon and, like, that her family is surrounded by evil, and that darkness keeps on trying to attack them. She doesn't know why, but she also knows, like, she also had the instinct that she had the power to stop it. And so, that's basically what she does. Reason she locked herself into a room is because she started creating a ritual. She doesn't know where the ritual comes from. She's never seen it before. It's just a part of her DNA. So she draws like a magic circle, and she lights the candles, and then like but this whole time she's doing this, the only thing she's thinking about at this point in time, Megumi knows that Hitoshi is dead. She already felt him die. She already knows that he's not coming back home, and she knows that she is the last line of defense for her daughters. So like that's why as soon as she felt Hitoshi die, she went into that room and she locked the door and she like, you guys cannot come in, because she knew what she was going to have to do. So she creates this huge magic circle and she like, you no matter what, you will not get my daughters. You took my husband, you're not gonna have my daughter. And so while she's doing that, she's preparing her ritual. Like Tao Lun is like going. Tao Lun and his warrior monks. At first, they're just standing there watching this demon rampage. But then they remember, they're like, wait a minute, we're warrior monks, and our job is to seal demon gates. We were kind of trained for this a little bit. We have never faced a demon before, and like, you know, but hey, this is what we were like. This is what we're born to do. This is our first demon. So they actually attack it. So Tao Lun's like, go. And so like he knows his students are not trained to deal with, are not properly trained. They don't, most of them do not have complete mastery over their powers because they've only been training with him for about maybe 6 years. Yeah, like 6 or 7 years. So like they don't have like complete mastery of their powers yet or their abilities, but they are trained to a certain point, right? So let me go ahead and break down each of these characters. So in the middle, we've got Tao Lun, who Tao Lun is Master Tao Lun is a descendant of the Wind Dragon. So let's see. This is what he's kind of look like going forward. Now, one reason this stream is so long is because I realize that I do need to kind of break down all of these characters eventually, and I don't want to keep on making like a bunch of videos. So like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna like break it into smaller videos, so don't worry about that. But let's see, Tao Lun. So Master Tao, Master Tao, Master Tao. Okay, let's see, Master Tao, 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 Tao. Why am I think? Okay, so this is Tao Lun like when he was like younger. So I'll skip that one. So this is what Tao Lun kind of looks like now. I'm not gonna play this whole video, I think. Yeah, so this is what Master Tao kind of looks like now. Old, bald-looking monk. But you know, this is him. This is what Tao Lun is gonna kind of look like in the updated comics. Yeah, so he's like pretty ripped, very, very old guy. So this is kind of like what we're dealing with right now. So this guy is a descendant of the Wind Dragon, the Chinese Wind Dragon. So like that's all I'm gonna say for him right now. You can check his profile out on Patreon to get all of the juicy details. And his main element is wind, but he has mastered a lot of the other elements. Not to the same degree as a proper master of these elements, but enough to teach his students how to use different elements. So he can use he can use 7 different elements, right? But his main one is wind and holy magic, because he is a direct descendant of the Wind Dragon of China, right? So like that is Tao Lun. Next, we have Masato, and Masato is this guy, and he is basically the Stone General. So he is like this is Masato, and he is the Rock. So he is the one that has mastered the element of Earth, right? And this is kind of what he's going to look like. So he's the oldest one, and he's like the foundation of of the Ryukage clan, basically. Now at this point in time, keep in mind they're not called the Ryukage. They're just like wandering warrior monks, right? That name does not come until later. So this is Masato, the oldest one. He controls rock, the rock elemental, and you can find his full profile on Patreon. Next we've got Shinji, who I think I've kind of shown you him before. He's a beautiful white-headed guy. So Shinji. Okay, this is Daihachi. So Keiichi. Shinji. For some reason these things are okay. So like Yeah, this is Shinji. So at the point, this is him a little bit older, but he controls the element of wind. Basically, this is what he looks like when he's younger. Yeah, so like yeah, he's the wind guy, and he's the one like that has a good sense of humor. So this is Shinji, and then we got Takashi. Yeah, so this is Takashi when he gets to be a bit older as well. So you're going to see these characters kind of age up as the comic series goes. So he is the water elemental, and he's also one of the best swordsmen of the Ryukage. So this is him when he gets older, but he's the guy that controls water. Then we have next on the list is Keiichi. Keiichi is actually one of the most underrated characters, but there's a reason for that that will be explained in the comics. So this is Keiichi the Leaf. This is him when he's like younger, oh, about like 17 or 18. So he'll like in this first comic series, let's see, in issue number 2, he's also much younger as well. So this is Keiichi. Keiichi is the one that Hitoshi gave the white-handled dragon sword to, and that's also going to come in much later in the comics as well. That's also going to be a key point for what happens with that sword and why he gave it to Keiichi, even though he didn't know it. Yeah, so Keiichi, he's the leaf. Out of all of their powers, Keiichi's powers at this point in time are the weakest one. And there's a very good reason for that will be explained later in the comic series. Right, so this is Keiichi the Leaf, and he is using Hitoshi's sword to fight with. Next on the list, so Keiichi, he would be about like maybe 15 at this time. Then we have, next would be Hideyasu. And Hideyasu, sorry, I just typed that in the message. Whoops. Yeah, like Hideyasu. Alright, so Hideyasu. He is the troublemaker of the group. And if you read his profile, you'll understand why. And actually, in this storyline, this guy, he's very strong, very loyal to a point, but he's also pretty selfish and pretty arrogant, and that gets him and the group into a lot of trouble. Even more so, like, yeah, like, there's a lot of stuff that's going to go on with this guy. And in the storyline, I have this battle between him and Masato that you guys are not going to want to miss. It's fierce, right? But Hideyasu, he's the one that controls metal. So his element is metal, which kind of manifests itself as gold, right? So he's like basically the shield character of the group, or one of the shield characters of the group. And he is also one of the most pivotal characters of the WildFIRE storyline, because the events of book 1, chapters 1 and 2, kind of are his fault. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So if you haven't read the novel, you can like find the novel on Gumroad. Yeah, the original WildFIRE novel here. Chapters 1 and 2. What happened in those first 2 chapters of the main WildFIRE novel actually kind of trace back to Hideyasu, unfortunately. All right, but he is the metal monk. And then the last one, the youngest one, is Daihachi, right? And he is the fire monk, right? So he controls the element of fire. He can generate the fire by himself. And so he uses a lot of like kicking and punching techniques. All of them are master martial artists, by the way. So they all have their own unique like fighting styles. His is more like Taekwondo. He uses a lot of kicking techniques because he can like create sparks from his feet. Also uses like more karate style. So he's a hard style karate guy. Keiichi uses like more a little bit of like more like ninjutsu style techniques and like taijutsu, stuff like that. Whereas Takashi, the water guy, he uses more kung fu he also uses like more jujutsu, stuff like that. And Shinji, he uses like Chinese kung fu style. And Masato is a straight hard style karate guy. Tao Lun, he's been around for a while. He uses like everything, but mostly like Chinese style martial arts, right? So these are the guys who are attacking this metal centipede right now using their abilities. Even though they're not professional or anything, professional like demon hunters yet, this is their first encounter with a real demon, a real high level demon. But you know they do a pretty good job, so they attack it because that's what they've been trained to do. And so like, but this metal centipede is not this thing. Like if you read the profiles for the demons on my Patreon, you can also like the 7 demon emperors. 7 demon emperors. I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, you can read the profile for the 7 demon emperors here as well. So the metal centipede doesn't just have metal. It's also got like acid breath, like so it can spit acid. It's got impenetrable like armor on the top. It has like lava for blood. You know, just like the demon dog does. So like yeah, like the more damage, like it also has the ability. Like I said, the centipede is freaking huge. It's like about the size, like lengthwise, it can actually encircle like a whole village basically. So it's like a train. But like it also had the ability to send out little mini clones of itself to possess dead people or dying people or well even live people. It can possess them. So like you know that's what it does here. So it winds up creating an army of zombies from the villagers that it just killed, and like these zombies also have like you know like have a power upgrade because the demon is basically controlling them like puppets, right? But, you know, these guys, they're just like, well, we're here now and we're designed to fight evil. That's what we were trained to do, so that's what they're doing. So Daihachi's like, you know, throwing his fire punches. Shinji's using his wind attacks. Shinji has to be careful when he fights because each of their abilities, each of these monks actually has, like, strong points and weak points. Shinji is very good at close-range combat, like, when he's not using his powers. But when he uses his powers, he becomes... He's more of a ranged combat person with his powers because he actually kind of becomes a liability when he's fighting in a group because he doesn't have complete control of his wind powers yet. So he's good for scattering groups, but at the same time, if he's too close to his allies, he might actually like scatter them or like do damage to them as well until he like learns to hone his powers a lot more. Like so Keiichi, if you notice, Keiichi is fighting, but he's not using his powers. He's not using his wood powers yet, and I'll explain. We'll have to explain why he doesn't do that later in the comics. And so, like, everybody's just kind of doing their thing, and Tao Lun, he's just like watching them to see how well they do. But Tao Lun knows that they are way out of their league with this demon. However, he may not be because he is a descendant of the Wind Dragon, right? He has holy blood. He has holy magic flowing through him. These warrior monks, they've been trained by him, but they are not direct descendants of any of the primordial dragons. And this is a point that we need to keep in mind going forward in the storyline. So they have the magic abilities, they have the elemental abilities, they were trained in the elements, but they do not possess dragon blood. They do not possess holy magic, right? And so they're not from the primordial dragon's bloodline. This guy is. So he's like, yo, I was a disciple of the Wind Dragon. The Wind Dragon's blood, the Chinese Wind Dragon's blood flows through me. So I have holy magic. And that's why he can do more damage to this demon. And I said that this guy uses all of the elements. He also has lightning. He's also a lightning elemental, right? So he uses lightning combined with holy magic to blast this thing on his ass, right? And this is the first time like the centipede has really taken damage. I mean, they were doing like minor damage to it with their powers and stuff like that, just like blunt force damage. But when Tao Lun fights, he can actually hurt it, right? And so like you know, he knocks it backwards and actually knocks it on its back. And then like his students are like, okay, well, like the belly is like the underside seems to be like unprotected, so they go right for the belly. They're like, okay, well, like let's go ahead and crack this thing open, right? And so the demon, sensing that it is in danger now, because it wasn't expecting Tao Lun to show up, right? It wasn't expecting someone with the power of one of the primordial dragons to actually show up, and so like now that Tao Lun has hit it with lightning, this thing has actually gotten weaker. And so they're like, okay, the belly is exposed, so let's go for it. And they're like, Masato, he's just like gonna try to crush it, and everybody else is like, just gonna dogpile on it. And then like, but sensing that it's in danger, this metal centipede is kind of like a coward. So what it does is like it makes a husk of itself, and then like it splits itself into millions of little mini versions of itself, like millions of mini centipedes, and then it just disperses and it just kind of runs away. And so this demon also vanishes, right? It just turns into a bunch of different bugs and just runs away from the city because it realizes that it's up against like somebody who has holy magic, and holy magic is this thing's weakness, right? And so like after the demon like finally disperses and runs away, like Tao Lun, and then they're like, okay, well, where the hell did it go? So they know they didn't kill it. So this thing is still alive. It just ran away. And so because these demons are not stupid, they're very intelligent actually, and I'll explain that why that is later as well. So anyway, like after like they managed to chase the demon off. Keep in mind this thing is not dead yet. Hasn't even really taken that much damage. It's just kind of surprised to run into Tao Lun, run into somebody who can actually hurt it, right? And so like while Tao Lun is there, he's like, okay, well, demon vanished. I guess it's time to like deal with the lingering question. And Masato's like, yeah, like what's inside that house? Now, realistically, Tao Lun already has an idea of what's inside of that house by now. Because like he's already starting to sense what's going on in there. He doesn't know how bad it is. He doesn't know how many there are, but he already knows that there's something inside of there. He already has a general idea of what's kind of inside of there. So they go to the house, and like right before they hit the house, like Tao Lun notices that there's a holy barrier, and like at this point, like Tao Lun, before any of his students can pass through, Tao Lun has to deactivate the barrier, because this is pure holy magic, right? Pure holy energy, pure light energy magic. If his students tried to pass through it, even though they're not evil, or they're not carrying the darkness with them, like it would, like there's the possibility that it could overwhelm them or overpower them to the point to where their power is like spiral out of control and they cannot contain it. That's why Tao Lun has to deactivate it before he can let his disciples pass. So if they try to pass through it, it might just there's the possibility that it could kill them. Because of how highly concentrated this holy magic around the house is. So he deactivates it. They go into the house. And then as soon as they go into the house, they run right into Rin. And she is not messing around. She's had one hell of a day. She's like, my leg's bleeding. My father's gone. My mother's locked herself in the room. I got like 5 more sisters. He's like, I'm not messing around here. I will kill there's like something beating on the outside of the house. Like, I will kill anything that even gets within my range, right? And she's serious this time because she dealt with this demon before. And so, sorry, that's my Patreon blowing up. So she's like, get out of here right now, or if you take another step, I'm going to kill you, right? But, Tao Lun, he sees through this. She's just pretending to be brave. She has no idea what's going on. She just knows that there's another demon after her. She is scared to death, right? But, she's the oldest one. She's got to protect her sisters, so that's what she's trying to do. And Tao Lun just puts his hand on her shoulder. He's like, yeah, he's like, you can relax now. We're here. So she's desperate, scared, poor girl, has every right to be. And so he just brushes past her, and he leaves her in the care of Masato and Shinji. And as soon as he's gone, she just breaks down. And so the boys, they're still freaked out too, because they just finished fighting a demon. And they don't even know what's going on. They're just like, well, there's a demon. Our master told us about demons, but we've never actually fucking seen one before. So all of the boys, they're like really rattled too. So they're used to fighting and they're used to fighting humans. They're not used to fighting this kind of stuff. They thought they would never see a demon before, and they've seen the demon gaze before, but they've never actually seen anything come out of it. They fought demon seeds, the plants, before, but they've never actually seen an actual demon like of this size. So like they're all freaked out too, and they're freaked out because they have no idea what's going on in this house, and they've never actually encountered like holy magic on this level, like dark magic or holy magic on this level before. So they are totally freaked out. But they notice that the girls are more freaked out than they are, so they naturally kind of like want to help. So Masato and Shinji, like they go right to Rin and they like they just let her break down. And like at this point, Rin had been so busy trying to defend the entrance that she hasn't really been paying attention to what's been going on behind her. She's just been keeping an eye on the door and the windows, and like it's been holding her knife ready to like stab anything that comes through any entrance, right? Because she was expecting something to break through, and like she's just been on high alert mode, right? So she didn't really have time to turn around to see what's going on behind her. But Tao Lun, he already knows what he's going to find when he walks into this room. So he's like, that barrier could only be made under special circumstances. And then he opens the door, and then like he sees like all of the other girls like huddled inside the room. And like so he's like could only be made under special circumstances by someone with enough spiritual energy and resolve to make the ultimate sacrifice. And when he goes into the room, this is what he finds. So he finds Megumi has sacrificed herself in the middle of the magic circle that she made inside of the room, and that was how she completed the ritual to create the barrier around the house, right? So this is where the holy magic barrier comes from. So and that is basically the end of the Ryukage comic issue number 2. So it ends with the death of Megumi Morita. So now, like Hitoshi is dead. Megumi is also dead. And that leaves the 6 daughters by themselves with a group of traveling warrior monks who are all in way over their head. And so that's the end of issue number 2. And so let's jump over to my Kickstarter page. And now that we've kind of reviewed all of this, let me show you what it kind of looks like. So, hey, Ryoko. All right. So you can find out so the Kickstarter, like I said, is actually for continuing issue number 3. So after issue number 2, you'll see the cover for issue number 3, or the old cover for issue number 3. I might do an updated version, but this is where issue number 3 is like, now that we've gotten through issue number 1 and issue number 2, and you see like kind of how the story begins. Issue number 3 is where things really start to kick off with this series, because now the girls have met with Tao Lun and the warrior monks, and so Tao Lun has a lot of knowledge about this stuff because he's a descendant of the water dragon. He knows exactly what's going on, and so he will be able to explain to the girls and the readers like about the history and what's actually going on with Megumi and stuff like that, right? And why she took the action that she did. He'll also have to inform the girl that their father is dead, which is not going to go over too well. But Tao Lun, like, now we can start kind of unraveling the mystery of what's behind the Morita family and why the demons are after them, because Tao Lun is now on the scene. So this is the cover for issue number 3. And this is what the Kickstarter will be funding. So the new Kickstarter that I've launched, will be funding issue number 3 with all new artwork, featuring the new artwork for the characters. So here's some art for Tao Lun versus another enemy that we are not going to talk about here. Check my Patreon page; you'll find out who this guy is. Here's like some of the comic art from issue number 2, which we just saw. Here's like some new concept art with Keiichi and Ryoko. And now on Patreon, you'll also get like a few different spoilers about how the girls will actually start to power up, and how the boys will start to power up. So we are going to get to see these characters grow from like kids to adults in this Ryukage comic series, if I can get it funded. In order to like well, I'm gonna continue with this regardless, but like funding it will definitely help me like speed up the process because I'm working on this all by myself. Yeah, so let's see. So that was comic issue number 2. All right, so this is basically what the new artwork is going to start looking like for comic issue number 3 going forward. So this is just basically a recreation of this right here. And you'll notice that Megumi's hair has turned white. So in the comics, originally, like I was thinking, originally I wanted her to have gray hair, but my artist had trouble, like actually, well, I think like not really trouble, but he made her look a little bit younger. So canon-wise, like she's always in my mind. She's always had gray hair, but when we were doing this comic back in the day, we just kind of drew it this way to where it was like kind of dark, a little bit more dark gray. But like when Megumi dies, her hair is already kind of silver gray. When Megumi dies, though, what happens is she winds up tapping into holy energy inside of her body that she didn't know she had, and that actually turns her hair completely white. So that's why you're in a lot of the like her hair goes from gray to white because like she's using pure magic energy, and it's not necessarily the sacrifice that actually killed her. It was unleashing that holy magic inside of her that she didn't know that she had. She kind of forced it open, and through her sacrifice, and that's actually what killed her. But you'll find out more about that later. So as we continue with comic issue number 3, when we start getting into like the powers and the abilities of each of these characters that you were just introduced to, you can see some of them on my Kickstarter page. You can kind of start getting a feel for what each character is capable of, and what their strengths and weaknesses are. And yeah, so like here's kind of where we're at with this. So yeah, check out my Kickstarter page. And if you're interested in learning more about this comic or like continuing with this comic series, want me to continue with this comic series, then please support my Kickstarter. This is like the way to do it. Or you can actually support me on Patreon. This is where you're gonna find like all of my locked content, all of the deep lore, all of the deep character profiles and stuff like that. And you can also support me on Gumroad if you just want to buy the comics or the sequel novel. And I've also got a Ko-fi account as well as the newsletter that you can check out, a weekly newsletter that you can sign up for. And the video game that I'm working on, I'm actually putting on itch.io. So like I said, I am like working on a video game for this as well. So this is the full transmedia franchise. And I say franchise because I've already got the whole series mapped out. So even when you check my my Kickstarter page, you'll notice that I've already kind of got the steps laid out for what comes after the Ryukage Saga. And so as soon as like the Ryukage Saga is finished or gets funded, and I can make all 26 planned issues, then I'm immediately going to move into like a story arc number 2, which is a huge time skip from the Edo period Japan storyline that we're talking about right now. So I'm not even going to get into that here. You can check it out on my Patreon page because that is going to be like a CDULO, Beyond the Outer Rim, which is this one right here. And then after that's finished, we'll move on to the main WildFIRE timeline, which which is actually where the first novel picks up, right? So right now I'm focusing on completing issue number 3 of the Ryukage, which continues the story immediately after Megumi's death, right? So it's just going to pick up right after like the last panel of comic issue number 2, right? So that was the overview of the Ryukage comic issue number 2. Now I think I can kind of go ahead and stop this video because this has been a much longer overview than I had planned. And don't worry, I am going to put timestamps in this so that you can kind of skip ahead like while you're watching the video because this is a live stream. So yeah, I think I was going to do like some more character explanations on this, but I think this live stream has gone on long enough, so I'll go ahead and end it here. If you like watching me, do a breakdown of all of this stuff, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check me out on. Definitely check out my Kickstarter before it ends. I've got like 12 more days left on that. And not a lot of support right now because I did not pay for any advertisement. I did not do like any pre-promotion. I'm trying to get a grassroots movement kind of going for this. So like that's why I didn't really I want real, genuine, authentic fans. I don't want like bots or like a bunch of like promoters who are not really interested in the story. So that's why I didn't even really like tell a lot of my family or my friends or anything like that, because I put it out there and I just kind of want to see who is interested enough to like interested in the story and the characters enough to kind of like want to support the project. So that's why you're seeing a lot of numbers that are like really low, because I did not promote. This is a completely cold launch. And I did that on purpose, just to see if I could get a grassroots movement under this, and just to see if people would be attracted to the storyline. But Kickstarter doesn't really promote projects so much. So you kind of have to. It's kind of like bring your own chicken and bring your own beer kind of thing. So I've been hoping to get funded by like doing videos and introducing characters and putting them on SNS and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. I still got like 12 days left, so I'm not really too worried about it. Whether this campaign is successful or not, I'm still going to continue with making the comics, making the anime and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about that. But it would definitely help me out, because I do need I could use the support to actually make this all finish this entire storyline before like I die or something off. But yeah, so support if you can, and if even if you can just help spread the word, that'll help. All right. So yeah, that will be it for this. This is a breakdown of comic issue number 2 of the Ryukage, and I will come back later with more character profiles for each of the characters that you will see in this Ryukage story arc, phase 1, the Ryukage story arc going forward, right? So that's going to be it for this one. Everyone have a good day. Like, subscribe, check me out on Twitch, check me out on social media, and I will be back with another video soon. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys later. Bye for now. I gotta figure out how to sign this thing off.